Anson Winder, former BYU basketball star and analyst now for BYUtv in Studio B. Ants, BYU basketball still playing, but let's start with the really important question. Would you lip sync to Let It Go?
It wouldn't be pretty. I could try, but I don't know how good I don't know the words really to say I could lip sync it, but hey, it'd be rough. You're a rough go. Probably not as good as Nate, that's for sure.
You need to be sending him a text message as soon as this interview is over and be like, dude, what happened?
Say, how did you let someone catch you doing that?
Okay, so that was Emmeline42's favorite moment of the sports weekend. What about you? What was your favorite moment of a very busy sports weekend, whether within the BYU realm or just nationwide?
Of course, when BYU wins is always a great weekend for me. And seeing someone in the conference do well as far as the Zags go, that was fun too, to see who they beat.
Oh, did Gonzaga beat someone this weekend?
Who did they play again?
They played a team that was, I don't mind seeing lose every now and again. So that was always fun. So, yeah, it was a great weekend in sports.
Long live the rivalry.
All right. Now, so BYU is playing its third game in the NIT. One more win sends them to New York for the Final Four of the NIT. Two really exciting games. Anson Winder, have you finally embraced the NIT?
I guess, yeah. You could say I embraced
That does not sound very convincing.
No, I do. I think the way that they've played and how fun it's been to watch them win these games, it's been awesome. And I've embraced them possibly taking over this tournament and getting to New York. I think that would be amazing. So
from that reaction, I'm kind of envisioning this, and I'm channeling my inner Jerem Jordan here because everything goes back to dating with him, okay? So, like, you go on a date, it's okay, and at the end, like, the girl kind of feels like, or the guy, whatever, feels like I have to give the person a hug, just to
I think
show
this
some
is like
appreciation.
This is like the date where you really don't want to go. You're almost doing a favor for someone. And then it's like you end it, and it's like, okay, this wasn't so bad. She's pretty cool.
I like that. Better than you thought it was.
Yeah, we could do this again, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know.
I like
maybe
that.
on Tuesday we can do this again.
Like, you can do better, but yet you had a good time.
Yeah, you weren't expecting to have a good time, but it was it was fun.
Did we just compare the NIT to the?
Yes, we did. We went
okay, well done, by the way, by us.
Well, it's what we do in Studio B, man. Everything comes back to dating. What has impressed you the most about what BYU has done in the 2 wins that they've had in the NIT over UAB and the most recent over Virginia Tech?
The way that they've overcome the physicality of games has been awesome. You saw them make adjustments late in game on the defensive side that really helped BYU get over the hump. Virginia Tech, they were a very physical and fundamental team. They stuck to their game plan and they did it well all night, and BYU was able to combat that and get a win.
In these 2 games, there have been multiple players who at times have come up with huge plays, have played well in stretches that have been crucial for BYU. In the first 2 games of this so far, who do you think has been BYU's MVP?
I'd have to give a Co. There's Co's. I think Kyle Collinsworth and Chase Fisher by far have been, the MVPs for this tournament. The way Chase has played. I know Chase has the experience because he's played consistently against ACC teams, so I don't think this was anything new for him. And going against what he did on Saturday or Friday was impressive. And the way Kyle played against UAB and to help lead the team against Virginia Tech, those guys have really put the team on their back, and they've done well.
Taking nothing away from what Nick Emery and Zach Salius have done as freshmen, they hit some big shots in those first 2 games. Nick has been playing better and better and better seemingly every game. But it's the postseason, and you need your seniors to lead. And I feel like Kyle and Chase have done that more so than I have seen them at any point. They've just led, whether it be with their vocals or with making a big shot or whatever. I just feel like the seniors are finally like, yeah, we're leading now.
I think this is why Coach loves seniors so much, is because, when postseason comes, the seniors realize, hey, these are my last games, and I want to play another 40 minutes. I want to play on Tuesday against a Creighton team. So to go into each game, it's winning by any means necessary. And they've made plays on the offensive and defensive end, like you said, being vocal leaders. And it showed at all levels of the game. And it's good to see because that's what you want out of your seniors. You want that leadership. And they've provided it every game.
Well, I think that as much as the coaches before the NIT started talked to these guys about, getting ready and making sure that you're taking this seriously, I think the fact that the seniors talking to the team and coming in with the right mindset, I think that has made a huge difference.
Yeah, I think coaches kind of let them take over as far as getting the team prepared mentally. I've talked to them multiple times, and it seems like they've taken on that role of being more vocal leaders and bringing the team together in practice and pregame and in late in game situations where they say, hey, look, this is the game plan. This is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to execute and win. And they've done it at a high level. And doing that against ACC team like Virginia Tech, it shows a lot for two seniors.
Perhaps we're splitting hairs, or perhaps the divide is much greater in the minds of those across BYU Sports Nation about the best win for BYU basketball this season. I just made my case for the Virginia Tech win on Friday and gave the basis of BYU just beat a team from a conference that has 6 teams in the Sweet 16. Virginia Tech beat Virginia and Miami. Okay, they beat them head-to-head. They came into Provo, their season on the line, played hard. BYU won a game, which I feel like in a style that they haven't won a game all year.
Totally.
It was just physical battle, blow for blow, 12 rounds type, heavyweight bout. BYU won that game, and I hadn't seen them do that this year. So all those reasons, I feel like this one's it's the biggest because it allows them another 40 minutes as well. But Jason says it's Gonzaga. So what do you think? Is it as close as I'm making it out to be, or what's the best win of the season?
I'm not discrediting Virginia Tech by any means.
Oh, but I see where this is going, smart man.
Okay.
Smart man.
The Zags are in the Sweet 16, and BYU beat them at their place. I have to give it to
That's what I'm saying.
the Gonzaga.
What I'm saying.
I'm sorry. It's nothing personal, Spence. But
I know. I know it's not personal. I just feel like
that's a huge win.
It is a huge win. When you win at Gonzaga, that is amazing. I just feel like they weren't playing very good basketball at that time. And it didn't get BYU into the NCAA tournament. Whereas this is, you lose, your season's over.
Totally. And I don't discredit that. I think Virginia Tech, that was a great win. And the way they did it, the fashion they did it in, because Virginia Tech isn't a great three-point shooting team, and BYU beat them with them just driving to the basket and shooting free throws. So that's what Virginia Tech does well. That was their game plan, and they did it. And BYU was still able to combat that and get a win. So I don't discredit the defense that BYU played against Virginia Tech or anything like that, but beating a Sweet 16 team is one of the few losses that Gonzaga did have this year. I don't know. I'd have to take that. That game would get my vote for sure.
The last time BYU was in the NIT, they made it to Madison Square Garden, and I know that was a big deal. So what would it mean, do you think, for this specific team if they beat Creighton tomorrow night to get to New York? What would that mean to them, do you think?
I think that changes the complete aspect of this year for BYU basketball. A couple weeks ago, after seeing that BYU didn't make the tournament, you look back and say, oh, was this year kind of not a waste, but was this just a rebuilding year? Was this a year that you just kind of chop up as getting guys ready for next year? But no, it's not at all. I think it's a year that you can go out and still kind of make this a memorable season by getting to the Final Four. I went to the Final Four of the NIT, and it was amazing. And, of course, you're down a little bit that you don't go to the big dance, but the fact that you can still go to a Final Four of a major tournament and you're one of the few teams left playing in college basketball, it's fun. And it's exciting to think that your last few games will be in the Madison Square Garden Arena.
Okay, can I get an NIT projection right now for the Final Four? Do you even know the teams that are left remaining?
I don't know all the teams in the Final Four. I just focus on one.
Exactly.
It's one game at a time. Look at that.
One game at a time.
I asked that tongue-in-cheek because a lot of people don't know. I know that Florida and St. Mary's and BYU are all there. There's a chance that BYU could play St. Mary's in New York. Is that something that you would like to see?
That would be fun to see. That shows just how strong the conference is. You see Gonzaga go to the Sweet 16 of the Big Dance, and then two teams, the second and third place team, go to the NIT championships. Would it be in the championship that they would play St. Mary's, or is it just the semis?
Final Four?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It's the semis. Yeah,
okay.
It's the semis.
It just shows the strength of the conference. So that would be awesome.
And then I need to ask you about this. I saw you at the game on Friday night, Ants. You came by.
I was there trying to rally the troops.
Well, and you did. You did your part. You know who else is trying to rally the troops? The head football coach, Kalani Sitake. Awesome. What's your take on the football coach going up in the student section and doing what he did?
Well, I mean, since I've played at BYU, I hadn't seen that from Bronco, and that's not a knock on Bronco. That's just not his MO. But to look over and see Coach Sitake in the crowd just doing what The Rock is doing, and he's more excited than the rest of the students were, and it was fun to see. I think people feed off of that kind of energy, and you don't expect that from your football coach to be in the student section with the fans just going crazy. Like, it was great energy.
After a game last week, Kyle Collinsworth said he was going through slapping high fives with everyone, and then like somebody grabbed him and like was like, "Whoa, dude, that dude's really strong." And then he's like, then I looked up and realized it was Kalani Sitake. Like, oh, it's the head football coach.
You know what it reminded me of? It reminded me of Bruce Pearl when he was at Tennessee, when he went to support the
painting himself orange.
Yes. Now I don't, clearly we're not going to see, Kalani Sitake showing up at one of the games with his shirt off like we saw Bruce Pearl. But that's what it reminded me of, and that was huge. That endeared him to those fans.
What was your favorite moment of the sports weekend? Anson Winder just went through his. We've given you ours. Send in your responses using the hashtag BYUSN. It's great to have you on the show, man.
Thanks for having me, guys. It's always fun.
Even though you disagreed with me.